On May 24, some heartbreaking news shattered the music industry and the whole world as well. Legendary singer Tina Turner passed away at the age of 83 after a long illness in her house in Switzerland. While her death was described as peaceful, one shocking detail has recently surfaced that may raise a lot of eyebrows and make us wonder why nobody came to the singer's help. It appears that Tina had been giving signals about her well-being and state via her Instagram, and one of the posts she had shared shortly before her demise makes her fans believe that the real reason of her death had been hidden between the lines. Well, I hope you guys ready for today's story before I'm going to delve into the details of Tina's last months with us. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Life Channel. Tina Turner has juggled several health issues in the last decade of her life, and unlike many other celebrities, she was pretty open about her multiple health battles, including the kidney failure, hypertension, and stroke. The Grammy Award-winning singer recalled her experience of having a stroke, and as she stated, she didn't take her health issues seriously and even was refusing to accept the severity of her condition by neglecting medication and proper treatment because sometimes, as she said, she felt quite bad after the treatment.
Caused it because afterwards I felt not good after the treatment of trying to check me. Say, well, I don't see anything except the blood pressure went up.
It seems like her health problems piled on onto another because in the recent years, she had been suffering from numerous conditions, including cancer and even mental health struggles. And despite having enough money to afford the best doctors and the most expensive treatment, she still passed away, leaving her fans with thousands of unanswered questions about the real cause of her demise, and mainly, what role did kidney failure and other troubles could have played in her passing. Well, this March, just a couple of months before passing away, Tina shared a heartfelt post on her Instagram honoring the International World Kidney Day. In the end, she shared her own experience of kidney failure in one of the most heartbreaking statements ever written. As the singer wrote, "For far too long, I believed that my body was an untouchable and indestructible bastion." As Tina repeatedly stated in the last few months, her biggest regret was being naive about the real state of her health, and at some point, she was put on dialysis for 9 months to survive. If she stated it was her only option if she wanted to live a little longer. As the star confessed, "It was my only option, but it was depressing to be connected to a machine for hours." Despite being open and honest about her struggles, Tina mentioned in her last interview that the only way she wants the public to remember her is as the queen of rock and roll and a woman who showed other women that it is okay to strive for success on their own terms. But here's something remarkable about Tina that makes her more respectable and admirable than the majority of other celebrities, and that's the fact that she has always been aware of inevitability of aging. While aging in show business is seen as one of the worst things a woman can do, and many stars fight it as long as they can with surgery, drugs, and Photoshop, Tina Turner was simply laughing at all attempts to pretend young. In her own words, of course, "I've aged a bit in the face, but not enough to worry about it. I have common sense enough to know that if I'm aging, something has to happen." Of course, with such an attitude toward life, Tina Turner has remained one of the most loved celebrity in the show business, and even high-profile figures mourned her death as if they have lost a family members. Since the day the news about Tina passing away in her house in Switzerland hit the media, many notable people published their touching tributes, and one of them even came from a former President, Barack Obama, who apparently was deeply saddened by the news. In his heartfelt publication, he described Tina as one of the most dazzling personalities in the world, saying Tina Turner was raw. She was powerful, she was unstoppable, and she was unapologetically herself, speaking and seeing her truth through joy and pain, triumph and tragedy. Tina was so much more than a performer. She was a role model for many women, both in the industry and in the real life. And although she has never been less than perfect, both on stage and in reality, it seems like her life was full of struggles and was stubbornly overcoming one obstacle after another, whether it was her health issues or toxic relationships. It's hard to believe that Tina rose to prominence during the toughest years of her life, and if you don't know these details, well, in the 1960s, she was working with her then husband Ike Turner, and despite his violent and abusive behavior, she found enough courage to go on to become a chart-topping solo artist whose name knows everyone in the world, and half of the planet population is now grieving to see her go. Probably because she has always remained a humble and beautiful soul, she managed to captivate the hearts of millions of fans across the globe, and her energetic and vibrant performing skills earned her not only the army of admirers, but also 12 Grammy Awards.
I want to thank all of the people in the industry that voted for me, and all of the people, the viewers that's rooting for me.
Tina's career has been soaring for more than several decades, and all these years, she had been gathering stadiums across the globe, and naturally, fans wanted to learn more information about her passing away. As it was stated by Turner's publicist, told that her death came after a long illness, but he never revealed the real cause. Well, Tina had been dealing with a lot of struggles throughout her last couple of years, and some of them even included not only physical illnesses, but only mental health problems. As it was stated, she had so many health problems, from intestinal cancer and high blood pressure to a stroke and kidney failure, that every single person of her age could already die. But Tina has always been a fighter. As she herself was saying, "I never want to go back. I fought so much through my life that I have to keep going forward. During the latter years of her life, the artist opened up about battling several health issues. She bravely faced all these challenges, and as if it wasn't enough to shatter her, she was also dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder caused by her toxic marriage to Ike Turner and the loss of 2 of her kids, one of which took his own life. Many fans claimed the Grammy-winning singer their hero and inspiration because despite the numerous battles she had to fight throughout her entire life, she never hardened and always accepted everything with meekness and humility. As one person commented, "Rip, Tina. You inspired a lot of women who went through hardship and abuse that they too can rise up, be free, and be themselves successfully." And another person added, "She's a hero to me because she lived on her terms." Younger man, Swiss citizenship, married at 75 year. Old, she will be missed. Apart from that, Tina has never been a part of any dirty and ugly scandal, and what's the most admiring part is her open-minded attitude. She treated her fans like dear relatives and was as honest and open with them as possible. In her memoir, called My Love Story, that was released in 2018, she had reflected on an avalanche of medical issues that had started to pile one after another, and she was completely lost, not being ready to face them all at the same time.
So I said, okay, I'll do the book because there's still a lot to be said.
Yeah.
So then,
From new details about her toxic marriage to Ike Turner to previously undisclosed recent health issues that nearly killed her, My Love Story is full of revelations that illustrate Turner's iron will and perseverance over seemingly impossible obstacles. And the largest portion of this book is dominated by her relationship with her ex-husband Ike, who she had been performing at the beginning of her career, mentioning some horrible things like he threw hot coffee in my face, giving me third-degree burns. He used my nose as a punching bag so many times that I could taste blood running down my throat when I sang. He broke my jaw, and I couldn't remember what it was like not to have a black eye. At one of her most desperate and down-low moments, the singer confessed that she even tried to kill herself during one of her and Ike's many tours, taking 50 sleeping pills one night before a show. She survived, recalling how she woke up in a hospital. And imagine, guys, that all these things took place in the 1960s when it was still shameful to openly talk about things like that, let alone think about leaving your abusive spouse. However, Tina survived this storm, although, as she said, she had developed post-traumatic stress disorder in the aftermath of Ike's behavior and actions, and she was so scared to leave him because they had kids, they worked together, and she simply had no idea where she could go.
Just an existence of children being involved, debts. Where is it to go?
Fortunately for the singer, her second longtime relationship was truly healthy, and after enduring years of abuse from her first partner, she finally found her true happiness in Erwin Bash, with whom she shared a whopping 38-year-long romance and stayed since 1985 until her last breath. When they met, Erwin was only 30 years old and had a 17-year age gap with Tina. However, it didn't stop them falling in love, and despite all the rumors that he was there for money and wealth, Erwin proved that he was a loving, caring, and loyal partner to the music star. This couple has actually been thick and thin, and despite all problems related to Tina's declining health, he hasn't left her side until the last moment. As Tina shared in her memoir, "I've been on such a wild roller coaster in the 4 years since my wedding that even I have difficulty keeping my medical catastrophes straight." Just 3 months after her marriage with Erwin in October 2013, Tina suffered a stroke. As she described it, nothing was leading to such a harsh diagnosis, but one morning she woke up feeling bad, and it felt like there was lightning bolt coming through her leg and head, and she couldn't call her husband for help because her mouth was poorly working. When they rushed to the hospital, the doctors explained to the singer that she had experienced a stroke. After her stroke, Turner's doctor expressed concern that her high blood pressure was also hurting her kidneys. Shortly after, she found out that they only had 35 kidney function. It eventually dropped to 5, and she underwent dialysis in an effort to get healthy enough to receive a kidney transplant. And despite all rumors and speculations, guess who stepped up first to donate his kidney to the Grammy-winning singer? Well, it was her prince in the shining armor, Erwin Bach. And this act of truth quickly shut down all the skeptics who doubted his feelings for Tina and were discussing their age gap. But this generous act was shocking even to Tina herself, as she said in one of her interviews that she didn't quite believe when Erwin came up with such a proposition.
First, I didn't believe him. And then I realized he was serious.
1 year before that, in January 2016, Turner was diagnosed with intestinal cancer. She underwent surgery to remove the cancerous part of her intestine, and doctors thought it could be cured. This surgery delayed her kidney transplant for a year, and even though she was said that there were no more signs of cancer in her intestine, it still sounds incredible how many serious and complicated surgeries and related complications she had to endure in such a short period of time. The kidney transplant surgery, which took place in April 2017, was largely a success, though there were complications because her body tried to reject the new organ. The resulting symptoms, such as dizziness, forgetfulness, anxiety, and the occasional bout of insane diarrhea, were making her life a challenge at times. And here's another detail that may add to this heart-wrenching puzzle of Tina's life. Her son, Ronnie Turner, also was suffering the same type of cancer, and just 6 months prior to Tina's demise, he died from the disease at the age of 63. This could have been another shocking moment for Tina, considering that losing a family member is never easy and losing a child is beyond any imaginable horrors. But despite these numerous life challenges, Tina had always stayed strong and dealt with everything her fate was throwing at her.
I had a very hard life, but I didn't put blame on anything or anyone.
She was repeatedly expressing how life was beating her hard, and there was no amount of good to balance the influence of bad and horrible things. And for some people, it seems like the singer knew her days were numbered, and she embraced the fact that her suffering would end very soon. In one of her statements about how hard life had been, she said, "It wasn't a good life. The good did not balance the bad. I had an abusive life. There's no other way to tell the story. It's a reality. It's a truth. That's what you've got, so you have to accept it." For many people, Tina Turner's story remains a shining example of strength, and as she chose to live on her own terms, it seems like she welcomed her death without any single regret. It's admirable how even the darkest moments of her life never broke her spirit, and she has always been radiating positive energy and serenity, and many people didn't even guess how much suffering and struggle she was carrying inside her. As one person commented, Tina had heart disease, kidney disease, cancer, stroke, organ transplant, on and on. She looked so healthy, but she was a very sick woman for many years. Both of her children died as adults, one by suicide. So much sorrow. She was a remarkable person with an incredible voice. And another user added, "A lousy family doctor, I would say. The origins of her illnesses is something to beware of. She ate healthy, exercised. Was it the abuse, stress, the grief of losing 2 children? Hard work?" Without a single doubt, Tina's loss will be mourned in the music industry and far beyond for many more months. However, she is now reunited with 2 of her kids, and this gives many of her grieving fans some peace of mind. And what do you reckon? What could become the real reason of Tina Turner's demise? And could her personal problems and stress aggravate her health issues? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other videos about celebrities. They are definitely worth your time. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and I promise to be back very soon.